Woohoo, we're live. Fresh off this book club. January 2026.
We made it.
We made it. That does feel silly goofy. The schedule's so weird though, because like this is the like we do January and then we skip February. But yeah, I'm here with the Fredrickson twins. But Michaela picked the book this month.
So sorry,
I put the wrong way. Michaela.
So sorry.
And Martine joined us. So sorry. It's just a silly, goofy time.
This is why I don't like recommending anything that I haven't actually read yet.
No, but that's the point. That's the point. I know that you might not be familiar with the history of this book club.
Nothing says it's mostly misses for you.
I'm bad at picking books myself for this book club, so no pressure to anybody. I do feel like that does truly take the pressure off of everybody else for me to constantly pick books and be like 2 stars for the book that I picked.
Yeah.
But yeah. We read All at Once by Katherina B.
We sure did.
It was a romance.
I finished it just last night.
I'm always excited to have a romance for this book club.
I was excited, and then I read it.
Listen. I know that Lizzie DNF'd and Danielle powered through.
Danielle was the first to finish it, actually.
Yeah, she was. Should I give the pitch? Should I give the pitch of what the book was?
Yes.
Go for it.
This book was a romance book about a very inexperienced main female character who invites herself on vacation because she runs into some dude that she barely knew 10 years ago. But she's interested in him, and he does say like, you should come out, and she says yes because she has no job. So she goes on this vacation because she has a crush on this dude, but then that's weird, and she starts hanging out with his best friend, which the synopsis of the book pitched him as like, to me, I thought that she already had a dislike of this man, but then we learned that she actually didn't really know this man before.
Yeah.
Never met.
But then, so she starts spending more time with the best friend. And yeah.
And things go from there.
And that's where we go. Yeah.
And then it kind of becomes like an unbelievable enemies to lovers type situation.
Is it enemies? I'm skeptical of enemies to lovers all the time because I rarely think that it's enemies.
First meeting was a rough start.
It's a dislike to, right, bad first impression.
That was supposed to be the trope, was hate to love, but
yeah, sure.
Instead it was like, of course he's upset, you just spilled drinks all over him.
Right, like it was yeah. I hope my warnings helped someone. Yeah, sure. I think
I'm going to be completely honest. I never made it into the Discord, so I don't know what warnings these were.
I do know that. Danielle read it first, and then I think I read it next, which is absurd for me. I read this pretty early. I usually read the book like in the 2 days before the live show. I think that prepped me to, I kept saying that I was able to take the like badness of the writing and convince myself that it was just like silly goofy instead of being like, like, so I was mostly just laughing at it. Okay. These are really unorganized, Michaela. I'm gonna go in a circle. I'm gonna spoil the book.
That's okay.
Forward, back, all over the place. See, I like the idea of the inexperienced character, age 25, no first hits, etc. I think that's fun representation. However, she sucks.
Yeah, the representation in this way was bad because if you were trying to make these people feel better about themselves, you gave them a really annoying person to look up to.
To relate to?
Right.
Yeah.
Because the whole reason that I chose the book is because the synopsis was like, I do kind of relate to that. Like, I not in a relationship of any kind until I was in college. And so she's a little bit older than I was, but like I just related to that.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, I couldn't stand her. So
Yeah. I think the like taking the inexperienced character, but also making her like I kept saying I felt like she was 13. Like also making her seem, how do I say this nicely?
juvenile,
Yeah, like
even though she's 25.
was not what I was searching for.
Yeah.
Like to me, we met this main character and I was like, no, I think I know why. Sorry.
Because I feel like a lot of people who don't get into relationships for quite a while, like there's a decent percentage of that that's actually like maybe they're more mature than the other people their age, and so they don't relate to the classmates that they're around or those kinds of things. But she was just as immature as everybody else.
I felt like it was incredible that she hadn't been in a relationship before, because I know that like there was a rule no dating until 18, but she definitely felt like she would have been somebody who would been boy crazy in middle school. I was surprised nothing had happened. She was like, I've never even had a friend who's a man. And I was like, what?
It was almost too much.
Right.
We doubled down a little too hard on the caricature of her. Dude, I thought there was no way Enrique liked her.
And later, when he just comes in sobbing when he's drunk and he's like, how did you not know? I was like, dude, I didn't know either.
The whole time I was like, this girl is delusional. This man hates her.
Him busting in to Luca's apartment sobbing was one of my favorite scenes, because I was like, this is so unnecessary. Like, you could have had him not reach this discovery about himself the whole time and just been okay. And like, what, you wanted us to like him at the last minute? That's so stupid.
Too late. 400 pages in, too late. Oh, yeah, I'm not gonna not spoil, sorry. She also was like naive to the max. She seemed so immature. Yeah.
That sums up our main character.
Yep. Yeah, see, I didn't know if I was being harsh by saying I didn't relate and didn't like her. But she really was rough. But like Lizzie, I like that idea of what character she was trying to make. No, I like that idea a lot.
It was
like,
just
I think somebody could do this well. It just wasn't this author, unfortunately.
I even would make the argument that it could have been this author if only anyone had read her book before she published it.
Can I, on that, and this being a like self-published, Kindle Unlimited book, sorry, like I think there's good stuff on there, but there is such a pool on there of like sifting through the like, these are people who are self-publishing because they prefer to like have more power over their own books, and then also like this wasn't published because
they skipped through the whole process.
It wasn't good enough, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, I actually, in my video that comes out tomorrow, sorry not to spoil that, but I actually have a pretty substantial conversation about how hard it is to find good self-published books and how many self-published authors don't invest in their work the way that it should be invested in.
Yeah.
Meaning getting developmental line editors and stuff like that. And just like, I would have changed every sentence in this book if it had been handed to me.
Yeah.
And, like, help me make this what it could be.
The way I first described it to Nathan is I was like, I feel like I'm reading a book that was written in another language and then poorly translated to English.
Okay. Yeah.
But then when I realized it was just originally in English, I was like...
And that's when you realize that people who are native English speakers still can't write English.
Correct.
Which is and that there's an important reason to have an editor, whether you're a native speaker or not. Like, you need somebody else's eyes on your book.
Correct.
I also think, too, like, anyone is allowed to write a book.
Yeah.
Regardless of knowledge.
Yeah.
Having taken any classes, having taken any... Yeah.
You do not need an education to write a phenomenal book.
Right.
Especially if, again, you invest and you have a good team behind you.
Yeah.
Like,
And I think that's the thing in the traditional publishing world is putting it in front of an editor. That's a natural part of the process. They would never skip that. Maybe nowadays they're rushing it too quickly, but it always has to be seen by an editor before they are publishing it.
Yeah.
In the self-published world, there's no requirement for that. Like
Right.
that's not always a thing. Which again is fair, but this could have used it. I think it could have been great if more people had.
I think if this would have seen an editor, it would have been 300 pages long.
I agree.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay.
We didn't ever say our rating, by the way.
Oh, shoot. Man, I'm bad at this. We should do that. Okay. You weren't in the Discord, Michaela.
No.
I did.
I
post my
did
rating
see
in the
your
Discord.
star ratings on Goodreads, though.
Okay. I usually don't post my rating before, but it was like, I felt like, yeah, also people needed to know. So I gave it 1.5 stars.
So did I.
Yeah.
I gave it 1.75.
Wow.
Wow.
So Danielle had came in and said, I think like 2.5. And then I had said like, no, this was actively bad. Like, I'm giving it 1.5.
Yeah, Danielle was trying to be so phenomenally kind.
She was, yeah.
The first rating I gave it was 2 stars, and as I looked at it on my screen, I was like, I absolutely cannot keep it like that.
Yeah. I do think a lot of the times, like most stuff that I rate 1 stars is like actively offensive or like did something that like really pissed me off, which this didn't do. But it was so bad in all categories of writing, characters, plot.
Well, and trying to make myself read it was like pulling teeth. Like,
Oh,
I
see,
never
and I
wanted to
wasn't,
pick this
like-
up.
I wasn't quite that bad. Like, while I was reading it, it just was what it was. It was too long, and I'm only allowed to read 60 minutes a day right now. So by like the last couple days, I was like, I've been here for so many days. But I wasn't, again, I convinced my brain that it was like fun to make fun of while reading.
Mhm.
Yeah, I also think that you only having to read 60 minutes of it a day, like,
Right.
to some degree, like there was one day I read the last 3 hours of the book, and I was like, I can't do this.
This is too much. Yeah, I see that as well. Danielle's still saying 2 stars.
Good for her.
I have to cough 1 second. Okay. I rounded down to a 2 on my Goodreads.
I almost rounded it up to a 2 and wrote 1.75 in the comment, but no.
Fun fact, I always round down. If I give a 0.5, I always go down. Sorry. Lizzie DNF, but it was headed to a 1.5.
I would make the argument it might have even been headed to a 1 for Lizzie. Knowing Lizzie, I think there was a chance.
Yeah. Sure. Okay, should we talk about plot points at all? I want to read because I had mentioned before we went live that I looked at my highlights. And that the first thing I highlighted was the true moment that I was like, oh no. And I just would like to read that highlight. In chapter 3.
It took you that long?
What?
It took you that long?
The first thing I commented on in the Discord, I think, was him like casually being like, you should come, and her taking that seriously.
Oh, okay.
But this says, you're not a fan of grinding then? He asks, his lips still curved flirtatiously. I quickly shake my head. No, I love grinding. I lie, never having actually done it. Are we 12?
Yeah.
So that's that. Just all of it. Like reading my highlights, all of it.
Yeah.
In chapter 5, she said, "If I told you how late I've sometimes stayed up until, you'd be terrified."
Yeah, it really is giving that like kid at sleepover who's like trying to show off, but
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, okay, I think this is an interesting thing to discuss. So when when she finally like starts actually talking to Luca, who becomes the love interest,
Mhm.
it's mainly her, but they collectively start in very long speaking sessions, trauma dumping on each other.
Yeah.
Pretty heavily. And okay, I found my reaction to that very interesting because in real life, when I'm getting to know a person, I love nothing more than like a deep conversation. Like, let's out the gate, let's talk about everything. I could not stand reading it in a book.
Yeah. I'm an oversharer personally as well. But
I just didn't find it so believable that she'd find it so easy to spill her guts about this stuff to him
No, I
when she's
agree.
not been able to ever talk to anybody about it in her
She's
life.
never had a close relationship with a man.
Yeah.
And that's what she's doing. So
Which he even does remark on at one point, like they're flirting, I guess, and he's like, "See, you say you don't flirt," and then she's like, "Is what I'm doing flirting?"
yeah, yikes.
And that sent me. I do like if this book again had gotten a little more attention from some other sets of eyes,
Mhm.
I feel like Luca could have been a love interest that I really cared about.
Mhm.
Because
He did have some potential.
he
It's
was
all
a
like
bit
what he
shy.
was trying to do. I see it.
He was the idea of him was there.
I also think the caricature of him was that he liked Taylor Swift and he'd seen High School Musical that she was referencing, and like he was into all of that.
Yeah, no, that part was ridiculous, but the like him being willing to listen and help
Yeah.
and stuff, I was like, I see the vague shadow of what could be a good love
Yeah.
interest there.
Well, and I think juxtaposing him against Enrique and showing like a guy who's interested in you should like listen to what you have to say.
And it should be obvious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of Enrique,
Yes.
what was that dumpster fire?
I'm
Why did he invite her there?
I'm curious, is she gonna write a book too about Enrique
Oh no.
finally learning how to communicate with somebody?
I don't know.
Oh,
She has a
no.
book that came out in January, but I do not think it involves Enrique. So
Okay.
Because I could just see that happening. Otherwise, why did he bust in there sobbing?
there are a lot of things I didn't understand about him. One of them was like, why is his friend staying at the resort when his friend has a place in town?
Yeah.
Like, I got so confused when she was like, and we went back to his place and it was my first time there. And I was like, haven't we been to his room? And then I was like,
I
wait,
agree.
not his room.
I was also confused.
And then when he leaves the hotel, like they're moving his stuff out of the hotel room and back in his place, I was like, you didn't tell us why he's leaving either. Like, did something end? Why is he gone now?
Lizzie's
Oh, okay. So Lizzie, here's what happened. So after Luca and our main character, what's her name?
One moment.
Jasmine, because he
Yeah.
made some stupid thing about the flower and the Disney princess.
Yeah. Okay, so once Luca and Jasmine are actually together, they're hanging out at Luca's apartment one night. I think they're cooking or something like that, and all of a sudden Enrique busts in there completely drunk, and he's sobbing like, why do girls not understand that I'm into them? Like, what am I doing wrong? What's wrong with me? Like her, Jasmine, who's right there. Why didn't she understand that I liked her? Meanwhile, we're all sitting here like nobody knew you liked her, dude. Like,
Right.
nothing could tell.
You've been blowing her off. You'll
go to an event with her and then leave her to talk to other girls. Like,
okay. T, that's actually so me. Okay.
But anyway, so the point is he busts in there sobbing, but it felt like for no reason because what did it add to the plot? Nothing. And they don't resolve it in any way. Like
No, they didn't.
he spends the night there because he's too drunk to go home, and then he leaves. And that's
In the whole 500 pages, they couldn't resolve that conflict.
no.
The final bit about Enrique is that they kiss once.
More than once.
And they're in love, obviously. But she's talking to her friend.
Mm-hmm.
And her friend says, like, this literally made me jump out of my seat. Well, are you and Enrique still together? My note literally says, together?
Bill?
Like, did I miss something? Are you and Enrique still together?
Now, to be fair, her friend is only getting like her perspective of this. She is thousands of miles away, so she only knows what her friend has told her. Like,
and she did travel all this way specifically for Enrique. So
Yeah.
being like, okay, you're gonna meet this other dude while you're there.
12 pages later.
Yes.
So this is now about Luca. So the conclusion for me is that I like him. No, I think I might even love him because I actually know him now. It's been 4 days.
Yeah, listen, that's usually one of the things that I have to set aside in romance books and be like, okay, they're gonna say I love you.
Yeah.
And it's, to me, as an outside reader, it's not gonna feel like they should be saying that yet. But this one was so diabolically, what are you talking about? You do not love this man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like 2 days ago, you were incensed by your friend's suggestion that you could even like him.
Right. And now you love him.
Uh-oh.
Now you're gonna move across the world to be with him.
Yeah. I mean, there was like, we had some vague jumps in time before.
I mean, yeah, but like
huge jumps in time. The night where they're baking the cakes for the wedding together,
Mm-hmm.
in about 2 sentences, she was like, a few hours later, and I was like, we still have the same cake in the oven. Like, how long does it take for one of these to bake?
Yeah, and they were talking so much during that process. I was surprised they finished making the cakes at all. I thought they had given up and then had a long conversation, but then she was like, and then we finished making all the cakes.
How? With the trauma dump, truly how?
Doesn't add up for me.
And then my main other issue was we went from me being like, okay, this girl is 13 to explicit sex scenes. It felt not fitting. It felt not fitting from her voice.
Mm-hmm.
And also not fitting for for the character, it was strange. But the way she did talk about a lot of it was still like very naive.
Yeah, I think some of the intentions behind those scenes were supposed to be good.
I'm like, do I want to read these out loud on the internet?
No, but like,
I have some bad ones here.
There were some times when, and Luca even said this one time. He was like, if you can't talk about this, like, we shouldn't be doing this. And I think at least he said
Agree.
it. Agree. But I feel like we should have said it a couple more times and like acted on
that. Before we ever get to the explicit sex scenes, let's just talk about how any physical contact, the way it was described in this, made me so uncomfortable. Like, to say he held my hand, she writes, he slowly pushes his fingers through the crevices of my skin. I just can't. I cannot.
No.
Of my skin.
No.
Okay, also in the comments, I think we're figuring out how Danielle gave this 2 stars.
Okay. Yeah, it got worse. It got worse. Much, much worse.
The language in this book was a lot. Just stumbled across another example. She gets seaweed stuck in her hair, and she was like, he picks the sea vegetables out of my hair.
Oh no.
Yeah, there was at least one time where I provided an example in the Discord chat of like how I would rewrite this sentence, and the ultimate conclusion I came to was like, personally, I would delete that sentence entirely. Like, if we had to keep it, here's how I would. Okay, yeah. How was the audio experience, Danielle?
Yeah, I read with my eyes.
Need to know that.
I didn't even realize there was an audio.
I think Lizzie also was attempting on audio.
Yeah.
That does seem like who produced that? Like, was the author reading it themselves?
I don't know.
Bad.
I can only assume that her voice was even more annoying in my head than it was on that audio, though.
Fake accent.
I don't even want to imagine what they did with accents. I don't want to imagine that.
No.
Interesting. No, I really think I think part of the thing with the language is like if it had been said out loud, like in an audio form, you would still know that it was like not good writing, but it was a lot more, there were parts of it that were a lot more colloquially acceptable as speech. Like if we
Maybe.
might not think about it in the same way, but like seeing the words.
Like, do you think it was less cringy on audio potentially?
I didn't say less cringy. I just said like the experience with the language might have been a little different. Not even necessarily better, just different.
Like some sentences just didn't make sense to me, and maybe if it was like the author reading it, she could have like put it in a specific like cadence that made sense to her, but it just didn't make sense as a sentence to me.
Yeah.
To me, I'm like, the sentences were so bad and cringy that they had to seem 20 times worse said out loud.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm gonna go back and find out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which Danielle did say, like, as a Taylor Swift lover.
Do not even get me started on the Taylor Swift.
What the hell with how much is going on here? For what reason?
When we would have multiple pages of dialogue about a specific Taylor Swift song, I was like, leave. I'm not in that thread on the Discord. Get out.
He wanted to song drop Taylor Swift so bad. Like, with the chapter headings and then doing it in the plot? Like, whoa.
Natsun said as soon as she realized how Taylor Swift centric it was, she knew that I would not have chosen it if I knew more about it. Because I am not a hater, but I am not like a fan of Taylor Swift.
I am a fan. And it was not good.
Yeah, I don't know. And
no, continue, Michaela. Sorry.
And I think this had some elements of like a Wattpad story for me, but realistically, if any book on Wattpad had mention of somebody as famous as Taylor Swift, once it becomes published, it has to change that. Like, it has to become somebody, because not that I think Taylor Swift would ever go looking for this book and say, I want my money back, but like, this seems like a legal issue to me.
Oh, yeah?
Every single one of her chapters is titled after one of these songs.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how that works.
I also, like, okay, there were several Taylor Swift songs that were mentioned in this that I've personally never heard.
Yeah.
But what was interesting is, like, around that time that I read this book, I watched People We Meet on Vacation. And August by Taylor Swift is in that movie, which I had never heard before. And, like, I watched that movie and I was like, ooh, this is a pretty song, because obviously it is. And then I read it in this book and I was like, yuck. And it was not the same vibe.
Yeah. Oh, and interesting.
I think, like, she makes this point at the end of the book to be like, she weirdly breaks the fourth wall and is telling everybody who also is not experienced that like it's okay and to be yourself or whatever. And she's like, it's okay to like the pop songs. And I was like, you are not great representation for this because you made it as annoying as humanly possible.
Yeah.
To read about this.
Yeah, you made it seem like people shouldn't like it because otherwise they'll seem like this, which is not the case.
Right.
Yeah.
You were weird about it.
Yeah, you decided to be weird about it.
And yes, the song title chapter titles were for no reason.
Which I think is so funny because for me, most of the time I didn't notice that because it was a lot of
You don't know what the songs are.
know. And so the people that she was trying to target the most with that would hate it the most because it doesn't line up.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
So silly.
Truly.
I'm trying to think of anything else.
There's nothing else like specific I feel like I need to point out. As a whole, writing, diabolical, characters,
I did mention this in the
diabolical.
I thought it was so funny that the main character was looking for a job as an editor.
I did. At the very end, she was like, and I got my dream job in editorial services. And my note was, ironically, what this book needs.
Yeah.
No, it would. Yep.
And then I started like doubting myself. I was like, is this author like somebody who was an editor and is now trying her own hand at writing? Because it cannot possibly be true, right?
Well, even if she was, it would only reinforce the idea that like everyone should have an editor look at their writing.
Well, to me, yeah, it could be that thing of like, well, I'm an editor, so mine isn't going to have mistakes because I know what I'm doing. Like,
Surely I hope that is not what happened.
no, I would assume not.
Yeah, I feel bad that this is her debut and like it's out there now and
Yeah.
And I will never read another book she writes.
Right.
Which sucks because like I wanted to be able to fully support an indie author,
Always.
but
Yeah, I guess that is the concept of like maybe the first book you write shouldn't be the first book you put out to the world.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe.
it looks like she had like a short story published before that.
Before this.
and then she decided that was too short. Let's write
Oh,
5.
I see
And
that.
it was called One Night to Fall in Love with the Olympic Village.
I see that.
And she has one that's coming out later this month called The Skating Dare. 837 pages.
No. No. You're joking. You're joking.
I'm not.
That's a trilogy.
Isn't that even longer than Pucking Around, which was like
I
7?
think so, and it is
Crazy.
about figure skaters. So
That is wild. 800, but we thought we had it bad with. Thank goodness you didn't choose that. Oh my gosh. I'm like, spend less time writing, more time rereading.
well, because what I was going to say is that this new one is coming out almost exactly 1 year after the one we just read.
Okay.
And so to be 837 pages, you wrote all year,
Red
but
flag.
never looked back at any of it. Like, I
No.
cannot imagine
Red
this one is edited.
Oh no.
Ugh.
Oh no.
And whoever
Who's
is
gonna go
rating her
grab
books
her?
before they come out on Goodreads is lying to her.
I
because they
actually
have
am
given this
clicking
5
on
stars.
This, because like, you know, on Goodreads you can see like the disbursement of like ratings. I'm looking 1 second.
So the problem for me and ratings on Goodreads for self-published books.
Yeah. Like
is
your
that-
mom read it and gave it 5 stars.
Exactly.
I hope her mom didn't read this.
LOL. Yeah.
I mean, like the biggest one still is 3-star.
I
Which
mean,
like is not good for like if you look at any other books, like that's not normal.
But it's not as bad as you would expect it to be.
I mean, and the average is a 3.35, which is low, but like again,
yeah, but I would say hats off to her for continuing anyway. Like,
Right.
although maybe take a second to think about it. You know, that's that fine line of like, are they just haters or do I need to change what I'm doing?
Yeah.
At the very end of the book, she has a note that's like, and if you have any feedback that can make the next book
Oh.
better, like I would love to hear it, smiley face. And I was like, we're too late.
Don't want that.
We're too late.
Hmm.
Send me those 800 pages right now. I'll make it 400. Let's go.
Right.
Yeah, it hasn't come out yet, so we've got time.
Right.
Give me a week, okay?
Danielle, can you read some 5-star reviews?
Of this book?
Yeah, okay, let's pull
One moment. I will indulge you since we haven't been here too long. 1 second. 5-star reviews. 552 of them.
Diane
This
gave
seems
it 5
like
stars.
I usually don't write reviews, but for this book, I'll happily make an exception. First of all, if you're a Swiftie, add this to your TBR ASAP. I loved how every chapter started with a Taylor song. The author described how she was advised not to write a book about a 25-year-old with no experience, but still went through with it. This book gave me comfort, and I'm sure many people will feel seen after reading the story. The book is a bit slow-paced, but I didn't mind it at all since the communication between the characters is very well done.
I'm not going to read this entire review, but I have found one 5-star review that starts, "This book is quite literally one of my favorite reads thus far."
Oh, so it's the first book you've ever read.
Like, some people do not know that libraries exist, and they
Oh,
only
right.
read like these self-published books or books that they, or like AO3. I don't know. Like, would you like a library card? Like, I don't know.
Actually, you would be surprised. My stepsister that I work with just recently started listening to audiobooks, but she's been like paying for. She was doing Audible, and then I was like, you can do Libro and like pick a local bookstore. So she started doing that. And like I was explaining to her that she needs to get a library card and she can listen to them through the library.
Or free.
No, but she literally was like, so I just have to go to the library and buy a library card. And I was like, libraries are free. Like she genuinely did not realize. Which is silly, crazy.
I agree, Danielle.
Somebody tell Ruby we have to get the word out.
The communication was not actually good. I think the trauma dumping made it seem to some people like it was good, but it wasn't. Especially like you can't say the communication between the characters was good because like the communication between her and Enrique, obviously not.
It's
You know,
not, yeah.
like not all communication was made equal, but none of it was good.
Actually, that just made me think, didn't they like barely know each other and hadn't seen each other in 10 years? And she was like, of course I still have your phone number. At the beginning?
Something like that.
Yeah, okay.
I think this 1-star review that I found, the beginning of it does sum up kind of how I felt going through this, because I did pick this book with like good intentions and it sounded like something that we don't have enough of in romance.
Yeah.
But this says, "I don't usually post reviews. I just like to say that marketing the book to a vulnerable group of women only to deliver this."
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is fair, because I think everybody is saying, oh, she was told not to publish a book about somebody who's 25 with no experience, but it's so great that she did. But if it's going to be so bad, like, you're not proving them wrong.
Maybe she was specifically told not to publish this book.
Yeah.
Not a book about a 25.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
again, I think we can all agree it's a premise that we would have found interesting.
Yeah, I think this could be done well.
It just
and
wasn't.
I wanted to one day, because again,
Yeah.
There is a message of hope in stories that have like people who feel like they're late in their lives on something, whether it's romance or their career or whatever. There's a message of hope that those books usually have that I think like a lot of people do need to hear. But this one was packed in 500 pages of not good.
Yeah. Oh, I'm like a big supporter of that.
I also think like, what is the message that's going out to these vulnerable women? Like, is it go to Spain for a guy who actually doesn't give a crap about you and then manage to fall in love with some random dude you've never met before while there?
Even
Yeah.
Luca had a quote that was like, "And what are you gonna do? Change yourself for what? A guy?" And it gave me big, just hit him with your car energy. They're like, he's literally just a guy. Hit him with your car. It gave me
Right.
energy.
Yeah,
So,
like it's
Supportive.
great. It's great that Luca turned out to be a safe person for her, but
Right.
but she could have been walking into like a dangerous situation.
yeah.
I mean, it might just be me, but I would take a inexperienced 25-year-old friends to lovers.
Yes.
But that just might be my toxic trait.
No, I think that's your least toxic trait ever.
Not enemy stranger to lovers.
Correct.
Like a proven safe person. Right. Okay. I don't have anything else to say about this book.
Yeah, I feel bad that we only got to get on here and like absolutely dump on this, but
No, but like to be honest, this has been like one of the funner discussions to me. So
yeah, I agree.
okay.
I pick interesting stuff, I guess.
Right. There's no book next month, so I don't have anything
Listen,
to say about upcoming months.
As long as Michaela doesn't pick this author's second book for her next
time. Yeah. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna cycle through all the people who pick for the book club, and in like a year and a half, I'm gonna be like, Michaela, do you want to try again? But yeah, no book next month. I will post the next 3 books that are happening shortly, within February at least. But they are already picked. They're in the spreadsheet. I need to go put my rating for this in the spreadsheet so we can see.
It's gonna be sad.
I'm trying to think like what's the worst average rating through the book club that we've had before, and let's see if we can top it.
What were you gonna say, Michaela?
Oh, I was just gonna say that like part of the reason I'm upset that I chose this book is because I'm trying to like I don't have as much time to read these days, and so I'm trying to like be willing to put things down. But because I'm the one who chose this, I was like, you have to keep reading, and this 100% I would have DNF'd otherwise.
Oh yeah. Okay, we had a book get an average 2-star before. Ooh, we had a book get an average 1.8 before.
What book was that?
1.8?
Yeah.
Legendborn, which surprises me. But I did give that 1 star. Okay. Surprises me.
This is why we have to write down our thoughts as soon as we finish a book instead of a couple months later, because we'll be like, it wasn't that bad, but really it was.
It was, yeah. This one, I gave it to it. Okay. Wait, let me enter these. Martine just entered theirs. What did Danielle say? 2?
Mm-hmm.
Danielle, 2. And I'm going to add a Michaela. I have to. Okay. What did you do, Michaela? 1.75?
Yeah.
Giving us a 1.67. So thanks, Michaela, for the worst book that Shelf This has ever had.
You are so welcome.
Really? Honestly, though, like, I have hated books that have been worse to talk about than this was, so.
Yeah, I also feel like we've had plenty of books that people didn't like but had nothing to say about them.
You last month? Sorry?
You mean your reaction to my book last month?
Right.
4 stars.
Yeah, and Lizzie's like, Lizzie posted a video even after that was like, I really want to reread this, and I was like,
because I feel like if you're going to have a whole conversation about it, it's nice to know what was wrong with the book and say like, here's what I would fix, instead of just be like, this is bad, but I cannot pinpoint what.
Yeah, I'm not sure why.
No, this one was very clear what the issues were.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
All right, off we go. Bye, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everybody. I apologize.